If you're not experienced with EVs, you might form your opinion of them based upon what you hear in the media. But there's a problem with that. The current narrative is that EVs are slow-selling death traps that spontaneously combust into inextinguishable flames. And don't forget that their battery packs cost more than the car itself and need to be replaced every couple of years. I'm Maria Neve, VP of EFMC Services at Inspiration Mobility.
And I'm Christy Freer, the General Counsel at Inspiration Mobility. Today, we are going to cover some popular misconceptions about EVs and why you shouldn't always believe everything you hear.
EVs are revolutionizing transportation and giving fleets the first viable alternative to ICE vehicles. Change is really hard for some people, and that's why there are so many myths and misconceptions about their practicality, especially for businesses. So, let's debunk some of those myths.
Let's. This first myth always makes me sigh. This myth that EVs are more dangerous than ICE vehicles, that they can't be charged in the rain, or that they're going to randomly burst into flames. So, like anything with a lithium-ion battery pack, think cell phones, power tools, children's toys, laptops. There is, of course, a potential for combustion if the cells are damaged, but automakers and others have clearly figured out how to do this build with the appropriate safety systems in place.
A report from Auto Insurance EX said EVs exhibited 61 times fewer fires per 100,000 sales than ICE vehicles. And an estimate from the Phosphorus, Inorganic, and Nitrogen Flame Retardants Association reported 5 fires per billion miles traveled in EVs compared to 55 for ICE vehicles.
And charging in the rain is not fun, but perfectly safe. I've done it, still here. Nobody's ever been electrocuted or injured while charging an EV in the rain.
Oh, Christy, I'm sure someone has sprained an ankle tripping over their charging cable.
That's probably true. I should revise that statement. I take it back. But here's the next myth. EVs can't work for your business. While this might have been true a decade ago, the opposite stands today. Not only are businesses across the U.S. already running light, medium, and heavy-duty electric fleets, but there's a significant total cost of ownership benefit for ditching the internal combustion engine.
So true. That's right. I don't recommend fleets just buy any EVs willy-nilly and think that they're going to be successful. It just ain't going to happen. There is still a learning curve compared to ICE vehicles, but factor in programs like California's HVIP vouchers, and I can't imagine why a fleet wouldn't at least give EVs a shot.
Yeah, it's all about analyzing your needs, understanding your average route distance, and just working through the use case for every fleet driver. From local deliveries to long-haul services, EVs are really proving their versatility, especially for drivers with urban routes that deal with a lot of stop-and-go traffic.
It takes too long to charge your EV. Well, if you're trying to charge a Ford Lightning Pro with a 130-watt kilowatt-hour battery using a level 1 charger, well, yes, the myth is really true. But nobody would ever do this in the real world. Why? However, when you work with a partner who develops a charging and infrastructure plan based on each use case, you'll find that nearly every EV can be fully recharged overnight using level 2. You can even top off many new models to 80% in under a half an hour at a DC fast charger.
Yeah, that's right. I think a lot of these myths come from the public charging and consumer space. But just take that level 1 charger out of the frunk for fleets and never think about it again. You can't expect to charge an EV with the same power output you use to charge your cell phone. And that just doesn't make sense. So for fleets, we recommend just making charging part of your driver's routine, whether that's plugging in at home and letting the vehicle top up overnight, or returning to the depot after the route and charging off-peak to save you money.
That is a great segue into our next myth. Charging is too expensive. There are a couple of states where electricity rates make it slightly more expensive to run EVs, but on the whole, running EVs will get you a cheaper cost per mile. Not only can businesses get breaks on electricity rates, but charging off-peak saves even more. There are also utility grants and incentives to reduce the cost of installing infrastructure.
And there's always the option to install a solar grid to further offset your energy costs. The thing to remember here is that public charging is generally more expensive, but it should only be used as a last resort for fleet drivers.
So true.
Another myth. There's too much infrastructure and it's too complicated to set it up on your own. What do you think of this one, Maria?
I hear this one often. They promised to install X number of chargers, but only installed a few of them. While public infrastructure still has room to grow, it will grow. Trust me. Really, trust me. Only a select few fleet types should consider using public charging as their main method. The two most popular options for fleets will be depots or home charging. Yes, it's a lot of work to plan, coordinate, and install infrastructure, but most fleets will be working with a partner to assist. Inspiration, for example, manages not only the installation of charging projects, but can help companies with home energy reimbursement, which is a bear to try and manage on your own.
Yes. And our last myth, cold weather makes EVs completely useless. Most EVs, to be fair, do experience a reduction in range in the winter, especially in colder climates that face sub-zero temperatures. But do you know what other vehicles lose range in the same climate?
Tell me.
Gas and diesel-powered vehicles, of course.
Yes, once it's below freezing, you can expect 20 to 30% less range. But overall, modern EVs are designed to maintain performance in various climates, and few fleets will have a problem in the winter. I know that the largest online retailer has a fleet of Rivian vans in New England that make holiday deliveries without any issue during the cold winter months.
Thanks, Maria. This was fun. If you'd like to get a free EV opportunity assessment, get in touch with us using the link in our description. We can also perform a complimentary ACF risk assessment if you operate in California, since the clock is ticking for private and drayage fleets. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and leave a like if you found this video helpful.